Hey, so we continue our journey with the workflow techniques and focusing presets and browser library configuration. Now we will look into Logic Pro X and see how it is done in Logic Pro X and what kind of techniques could be applied over there. So let's get going with Logic Pro X and see how it works. Let's get started with Logic Pro X and discuss about presets and library functions, what you can do in order to recall and utilize your plugins and instruments more easily and faster from a workflow point of view. Let's create an empty instrument track. And usually when you create an empty track, you can go over here into instruments and you browse down on the instruments if you are not using the Apple instruments like Alchemy or those like the vendor instruments. But if you go third-party instruments, you basically go down and under to bring in the instruments that you basically would like to use. And there is another way to do that. As you can see that I have actually modified my menu structure, and this is a bit different than in Pro Tools. You can't really influence in Pro Tools the menu structure, but in Logic Pro X you can, and then you can make things more accessible from the menu structure as well, and not only from the from the menu structure that is by default provided. However, in Logic Pro X there is one thing that is missing, and it is searching for these from the menu, and that is better in Pro Tools, that you can search pretty much everything and you can find the plugins or instruments easily by the search function in Pro Tools, but that you can't do here in Logic Pro X. But you are able then to modify the menu structure to get faster access to instruments that you want to recall and use. So that makes life a bit more easy. So if we go and see how to do that in Logic Pro X, and that applies also to plugins. So as you can see here, I have basically modified my menu structure for plugins as well. So I have like mastering tools, mix tools, dynamics compressors, EQs, so that I can easily then recall them into action. And so I don't need to go always to the extensive list of plugins that you have within the audio units listed by the manufacturer. So you can have a bit more fast access to these as well. So how to do that is that you basically go into settings, and then you need to open a plugin manager. And within the plugin manager, you can actually create these categories. And the main idea over there is that like you need to have certain kind of a design, or you need to plan this ahead, how you want to lay this out. And when you have planned that, then you can basically use it and do your own structure. Like for example, I have added these mix tools like dynamics, EQ, FX, and then if I would like to basically bring in a new tool into this, I can go to here saying that's show all, and then I can go and search a certain plugin that I would like to use. For example, I have actually added a Saturn into my selection, but it's already in the mix tools as well, as you can see. But then let's go and say that like Nectar is a new one, so that's not yet in any other menu structure or neoverb. So that's actually in the reverbs and delays, so it highlights you to the place where it is located also in these. So what do I have? Like Ozone 11 is a new one. So then I could basically go into the mastering tools and just basically then drag and drop it into the mastering tools. And now when I go over there, I see that Ozone 11 is there. If we close this one, and go and see here, and I go into mastering tools, I can also select Ocean 11 now. So basically that now it is recalled, and it's much easier to get that into use. So that's basically that's one thing. And let's go back still to the plugin manager. Just an example of like if you want to add a category, like let's say that you add a my go-to plugins. You create that by basically pressing the plus over here. I'll do an X until okay, great. I'll remove that one. So, but I have now my go-to plugins, and then you basically go to show them all, and then from here you can then go and pick things that you want to kind of, or you could search. You could search basically saying like Pro, where you have the Pro, Pro C, Pro Q, for example. That could be my go-to plugin, or LA2A. LA. Yeah, let's see. And there is an LA2A silver. I could basically then also put that into my go-to plugins, and now you can see it is placed over there. So this is how you can modify it. And then if you would like to do a substructure into your you need to use this semicolon, as you see here. Like I have mixed tools semicolon EQ, mixed tools semicolon FX. So this is also what you need to do beforehand. You start dragging and dropping things into these folders. So if you would like to add another one, okay, why didn't I didn't maybe drop the Pro Q into my go-to plugins? Then let's put it there. Okay, now it is there. So yeah, now I have two plugins in my go-to plugins, and then when I say done, I can basically go over here, and now I have my go-to plugins here. So I can quickly call them from the menu structure. So yeah, so modifying that makes things a bit more easy and fast. And in based on your own taste, you can of course build these type of things easily in Logic, and then drag and drop the plugins into the you know the folder, or the kind of subfolder that you want to include it in. But yeah, that's basically what you can do with the menu and with the library that within the Logic Pro X when it comes to menu structure. But then also when you have something, if you have here an instrument and you would like to save this so that you can easily recall an instrument in Logic Pro X, you can do that with here that you go, sorry, not here. So you select the track and then you say save here under, and then you can save this into your library as a preset, and similarly like a track preset in Pro Tools. So if you go into user patches and you go to drums, and then you take an easy drum, so then it brings the drum instrument into that bus, and let's see what it brings. Okay, what did I have there? Yeah, I had the mappings as well. So that's actually, yeah, this is actually a bit more advanced than I was thinking of showing. So you can also recall the mapping of things in a multi-timbral instrument. But let's do a more simple approach on this one. So I'll just delete this. I'll just delete the track. We will go and look into multi-timbral settings later on, and how to store and recall those, but that not in this session. So I will just do more simple things here. But yeah, let's bring in, like, for example, a contact player, and let's do the thing what we did in Pro Tools also, that, you know, let's look into analog strings. Didn't load. Okay, so now I have an analog string over here, and then I could also rename this to analog strings. And if I would like to save this now into my library, I just go over here and say save, and I could create a new folder here also, like output, and then I could place this analog strings into that folder. So I just say save, and now I have that preset saved. I can do similarly, you know, what we did in Pro Tools, that I'll recall a different instrument. Let's go and have the analog brass and winds. And then we go and change things over here. Sorry. Oops. And then now I can save this as a new preset into the same folder, analog brass and winds, and I say save. So now I have two of those in my folder, and what does that mean then? Like, if I just go and delete the track, and I'll create an empty instrument track, and now I go into user patches, I go to output, and I click on analog strings. It will bring that into my instrument track. And then again, if I go and press an plus and create an empty again, I go user patches and then an output, and then I want to bring the analog brass and winds. Same thing. So now I can easily recall them from the library, and here also in this library you can search. So it makes things a bit more easy, and you can structure this also based on folders. As you saw, we created a folder, and then you can do that based on your own taste. So let's bring another example here, like the Raptor instrument. So create a new one, and then we go orchestra, and I just created this as an example here. So now I have the Raptor there as well. So this is how you can save kind of track presets. You can do even more advanced things, but I will devote an own session for that later on when working with multi-timbral instruments. You saw a glimpse in this video about that, but we'll basically dive deeper into that in its own sessions. This is, however, how you can utilize the library, create your own track presets and user patches, and then recall them into an instrument track as is. So two things in Logic Pro X that you can do. Of course, you can save these track presets and recall them, but then also you can modify these menus as you saw, the more faster access of your plugins or anything else that you would like to basically include in there. But anyway, it's pretty much for instruments and plugins to be recalled and used. Okay, so that was Logic Pro X. Hopefully you were able to pick up some tips and tricks regarding on the workflow techniques, specifically regarding on the presets and library configuration. Next we will look into Studio One, so remember to subscribe for the channel for more content. Thanks for watching. Bye now.